What's up, Taiwan? I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Investigators say they've put a stop to China's latest attempts to steal Taiwanese tech talent. That's following a raid on alleged Chinese shell companies suspected of poaching domestic engineers and stealing trade secrets. Reese Ayers reports.
A raid on an office that's just simply a facade. Taiwan's Investigation Bureau has bust open what they say is a sprawling operation by numerous Chinese organizations, all setting up shell companies in Taiwan in alleged attempts to gain access to the country's most valuable trade secrets and talent. As the producer of most of the world's most advanced computer chips, Taiwan is home to many of the industry's most capable engineers. And Beijing wants them working for China.
台积电的 CoWAS 或者是 Info 这一类的技术，目前其实大陆还没有半个封装厂或晶圆代工厂所能够做得出来的。我们的电子产业链的工程师跟人才，尤其半导体产业链，其实可以用熟又大腕来形容。
It's that cost effectiveness that could be one reason China has been able to lure away so many engineers, as Taiwanese employers don't offer competitive salaries. The investigation identified 8 Chinese organizations, including several backed by Chinese state enterprises and the Communist Party's finance ministry, behind shell companies set up via third parties and using fake capital. The complicated network is deliberately designed to muddy paper trails and conceal the identity of the real benefactors. While shell companies themselves aren't illegal, misrepresenting what your company does is. Taiwan also has very strict procedures for companies looking to set up shop if they have links to China. Bypassing those procedures is also illegal. Now in the hands of Taiwan's Investigation Bureau, the shell companies are going to be dealt with according to the law, though it's unlikely to deter China from finding new ways to exercise its influence over Taiwan. Justin Wu and Reese Ayers in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Former Taipei Mayor Wen-je is facing a second arrest. That's after a court agreed with an appeal seeking to overturn his release on Monday from detention. Prosecutors suspect Ko was party to a corrupt deal aimed at getting permission for a shopping mall to massively expand its floor area. The scandal has enveloped several officials, and Ko's stature as the founder of one of Taiwan's 3 big political parties has turned this local affair into a national political earthquake. A former Philippine mayor accused of being a Chinese spy has been arrested in Indonesia. Footage released by Indonesia's Bureau of Immigration shows Alice Guo being taken into custody on Tuesday night. Guo is being investigated in the Philippines in connection to an illegal Chinese online gambling operation, which was discovered to be a front for a scam center. The investigation led to questions about her background, with some lawmakers accusing her of being a Chinese national, an accusation Guo denies. Guo fled the Philippines in July after the country's Senate found her in contempt for failing to appear at a hearing. Japan has just released its annual defense white paper in English. The document highlights a few of the core security issues facing the country as it deals with increased aggression from China, Russia, and North Korea. For more on this, our reporter Jaime Okan spoke to Alessio Padalano, professor of war studies at King's College London.
Alessio, I want to start off first with the cover of this white paper, which looks like it's a sword that's being forged, and the significance and the messaging behind using a cover like this.
If you look at the last 2 white defense papers, they changed the type of artists that they're working with to create their covers. The lines, the drawings are sharper, more contrast, white and black, to really convey and communicate to a younger crowd that is more accustomed to the type of mangas that reflect the challenges in modern society, to convey the sense of urgency, tension, but also inspire with legacy through the actual design. So last year you had the samurai, this year you have the forging of the sword. So there is a link between, if you want, there's a winking now to a certain type of imagined past or legacy past to invite a reflection about that's where we want to go. We are going to be serious in this case on defense. That's the legacy that we're drawing from, but we do it with the consciousness of today that can be easily digestible and communicated to a broader public.
And looking at the overall trend of Japan's defense, it mentions counter-strike capabilities and working with allies and partners. Can you talk about the importance of that trend?
I think the emphasis in particular on standoff capability, integrated air defense, and the systems, and making the point that we are recognizing that the challenge, it's a complex challenge and it's a real challenge, and we want to invest into the type of capabilities that don't change the defense nature of our posture, but at the same time makes it much more serious from a deterrence perspective. And it's an important statement because this is not a blank check to remilitarization, as it is often portrayed. This is a clear down payment into dissuading the other competitors, potential foes, by thinking that taking an otherwise step that leads to the use of force is a good idea. This is very important because it shows a Japan that is more confident, a Japan that is also more realistic.
That was Alessio Parlano, professor of war studies at King's College London. The ruling Democratic Progressive Party's Secretary General is in the United States, where he reaffirmed the country's determination to defend itself. Ling Youcang told an audience at think tank Global Taiwan Institute that the country has been steadily increasing its defense spending under DPP rule. He says China is using disinformation and illegal warfare to interfere in Taiwan society. He says while peace is the ultimate goal, Taiwan should have no illusions about China.
China's intention to seize Taiwan has never changed, depending on which party is in power in Taiwan.
The de facto U.S. ambassador to Taiwan has spoken at his first press conferences taking on the position in July. Raymond Green says it's important for Taiwan to keep a strategic balance in Asia.
加上台湾对防卫的投资和出色的军事改革，都不是为了战争做准备，而是要避免战争发生，维持台海和印太地区的战略平衡，能促进两岸和平对话，解决纷争。
Green says China is trying to change the regional status quo, targeting Taiwan and other countries. He is encouraging Taiwan and the U.S. to continue exchanges and work to bolster security cooperation. The U.S. and Taiwan do not have diplomatic relations, but Washington is Taipei's largest provider of military equipment and aid. Vietnam is one of several countries racing to achieve a new industrial revolution driven by tech. The pressure is on for firms to spend big on new technologies like AI to stay competitive, but many companies still have a long way to go. Taiwanese executive Kenneth Chen leads an alliance of business owners, academics, and other tech advocates to help Vietnam's factories go digital. Our reporter Joyce Zeng caught up with him in Ho Chi Minh City.
Nowadays we hear about Industry 4.0, smart factories, but with your experience, where do you think we are at in this transformation?
Only big companies have the resource to play with the very expensive big toy, but most of the majority, they cannot catch up. They don't even have the foundation to do it. In Asia, like Taiwan or Vietnam, they used to rely on people to exchange information. That won't be fast enough to solve the problem. We need a digitization tool, a computer, to connect all the data together. If you don't have a good tool and management, then usually it will take many days. If you're still on that stage, then it's impossible for you to use AI. When we talk about Industry 4.0, digital transformation, all these smart factory, smart manufacturing, no single company can solve all the problems. So we need to put all the resources together to collaborate.
And how different has it been implementing your concept in Vietnam versus in Taiwan?
It's very interesting because Taiwan, a lot of people, they have their successful experience. So for experienced people, for experienced operation, it's more difficult to make change. And in Vietnam, luckily, they don't have such a burden. And because of the new opportunities in here, many Taiwan's business, their factories in Vietnam is even much bigger than the one in Taiwan. Reality is, the business have to survive in business, have some profit, so they can reinvest. AI, just like other technology, are just the tools for them to see, okay, is it a good time for me to adapt this solution to solve my problem, to improve my productivity, improve my profit? So just use the same mindset, then you will be okay.
That was Kenneth Chen, the founder of A1 Smart Factory Alliance. Be sure to check out our series on Vietnam's digital transformation on TaiwanPlus.com. Workers in Taiwan can expect bigger paychecks soon after Taiwan's Labor Ministry announced it'll hike the country's minimum wage. The increase of nearly 4.1% will raise the minimum monthly wage to about $890 and the hourly wage to almost $6. Taiwan has been plagued with stagnant wage growth for years, and salaries lag behind other developed Asian economies. Former President Tsai Ing-wen raised the minimum wage every year during her 8-year tenure, but failed to meet her promise of bringing minimum monthly salaries to about $930. A Taiwanese company is letting people turn their plastic waste into wearable fashion. John Van Trieste has this story.
After carefully snipping up plastic waste they've brought from home, participants at this DIY workshop are ready for the final step, crushing and melting it all down into a memento they can take home. This is Trash Kitchen, a studio in Taipei specialized in recycling magic. Using a recycling machine called a mini trash espresso invented in Taiwan, the studio creates all kinds of recycled products, from decorative wall tiles, bricks, and clothes hangers to the trendy sunglasses today's participants are making. The company that invented this recycling machine says there's a serious purpose to this fun and creativity.
Everyone kept saying recycling is high energy footprint, it's really dirty, oh, that's why we'd rather not do it. Or reusing is very difficult. So we are trying to show you reusing save a lot of carbon footprint because we measure the electricity here, we measure the air quality here, and then you know what every pair of, let's say, sunglasses we make in this process, you are reducing around 400 grams of carbon.
The sunglasses made in today's program have the endorsement of some real fashionistas, including the chief editor of the Taiwan edition of an international fashion magazine.
环保跟 fashion 这件事情，它有，可是它要真正的落实，或是它的全部都是这样的话，我觉得还是有非常非常长的路要走。那我觉得对于消费者来讲，他要能够站在很一线的去感受这件事情是很重要的。那我觉得这个 workshop 是一个很好的开始。
And it is only a start. 2023 saw Taiwan throw out nearly 12 million tons of waste, a new record. Over 6 million tons of that was recyclable. But while these sunglasses will only make a tiny dent, the process of making them is changing how people think about waste.
我有2个小孩，也要为他们的未来想，也要为他们的小孩的未来想。就算你今天一个 trash， 反正没想到就丢一下，只是 kick 那个 problem down the road。所以如果大家都可以做好一点，多 recycle 一点，少用 plastic 一点，这样子可以 make a big difference.
And if this change in mindset changes habits and lifestyles, Taiwan's explosion of trash could begin easing off. John Su and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we bring you these images of a parish enclosure in France's Brittany. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.